Welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. Today, once again, we are very happy to have Ananda Reddy with us. Namaste. Ananda, I remember going to Mother a number of times on my birthday. Could you talk a little bit about the things that you would make and give to her?
Yes, Narad, that makes a big chapter in my life. In fact, now as a hind thought, I see the value of the things that I used to make for the mother and offer them on my birthday. That time it was a different thing, but now in hindsight, I see it had a great relevance, utility from the point of view of taking me closer to the mother. And now that I know a bit of the language of philosophy, I can say it helped me to surrender more and more. And that surrender was in the form of not meditation, but this was the surrender where this Bhakti Yoga and Karma Yoga came together. That means doing things with your own hand.
As an offering.
As an offering to her.
Yes.
So it was not thinking about her, it's not just, but really a devotion packed with something of the karma, doing thing. That helped me, and now I see. This is just, I'll narrate a few things, then I'll come back to each one of them. You see, the very first one, I don't remember the years, but I'll tell you later when I really see the letters. Because there was, in those times, a trend with my colleagues. Everyone would take something, especially the ladies would take something embroidered thing, or handkerchiefs and embroidered, or a painting. And I was not much talented in any of these arts. So I said, Mother, what do I do for you? So it was a completely alien and part of my being, that something aesthetic, artistic. So I said, but I have to do something for you. So one day I was sitting in the laboratory, ashram lab, where Joshibai works. And suddenly I had an idea, let me make something, okay. It's for me to make and for her to appreciate or not. So in the lab I found an empty chalk box. I don't know if you've seen one in India. It's as big as that Life Divine book,
Mm-hmm.
And the wood is not a very strong one, chalk boxes are not at all very strong. So I said, no, I can make something out of that. And on the spot, the ideas came. I put a plaster of Paris on the box, made it harder and thicker and stronger. Then I went to the Pondicherry beach, collected small shells, seashells, the round ones with different colors and shapes. So while the plaster of Paris was wet, I stuck them on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then at the bottom of the box, I put a little velvet padding. And there it was. It was a beautiful object. But then I was happy that I could do something for the mother. So I said, I can give it to her. And I did. And that was my very first box. First offering to the mother. Well, I don't quite remember her specific appreciation, but as usual, she was happy, she received it, and then she kept it aside. So at least it gave me confidence that, I've given to the mother something. But that was the beginning of, again, a long trend that set in me. The second year, I still remember, it became a little more refined. Last time it was a plaster of Paris, a bit of heavy thing. And, the beauty is that when the birthday comes, you start thinking of the present to be given to the mother. And somehow the intuition comes in.
Yes.
You see, the zeal to do for her, I think she sends the ideas to us. Because otherwise, as I told you, I'm not an artist and a great painter. So I had again an intuitive idea that I'll make something symbolic this time. Symbolic in the sense I needed material to give forms. And those days, I don't know if the girls still had those hair bands, the plastic hair bands. There used to be different colors, thin like that, maybe 5 mm. Hair bands, sometimes little curved like that, sometimes. So I bought a couple of them, different colors, and I heated them in the candle. And when it was hot, I could bend them because it's plastic. So I bent them in the shape that I wanted. And there I created a kind of a story that there's an aspiring soul to the divine like that. The soul is bent, and then the soul grows up. The divine is taking up. Ultimately there's a fulfillment. They're kind of a three, what you call phases or three tableaus, and that I stuck again on a plastic thing. So that was a symbolic thing, an aspiring soul meeting the mother, and all done in those colorful, beautiful shapes. Well, in those times we didn't have camera or mobiles, so I don't have a copy of that. Well, that was the second one with much appreciation, but again, nothing specific, I don't remember. And then, you see, the evolution of each year. First time it was a big box, next time it was this. Then third time, another talent came up. I was learning some carpentry in the ashram school, And there is something called the fretwork. I don't know if you know what is fretwork.
I know fretwork, yes.
So I was learning fretwork.
With Michael?
No, that Michael came much later. This was Prembai. Those early days, my
okay.
teacher was Prembai. Michael came long later, when he was not in my student days. So I had this fretwork, and I said, let me do something, because now I'm learning some skill, use it for the mother. And I made a beautiful letterhead. I mean letter pad, not letterhead, letter pad on a thin plastic, not plastic, what is that called, plywood. So I cut a beautiful design, the mother symbol in the middle, and then some birds on the sides. And no, that was not a letter pad, it was more a frame. Now I remember. Third one was a frame.
A frame.
But again, that time as children we used to go to any of the ashram departments, to Golconda or Atelier, and saying that I'm giving this to the mother, would you help me to get it polished? So they would always oblige and so polish it and all that. So that, if I remember the chronology, that was the third gift. That is something done in fretwork, a lovely photo frame, and offered to her. I'm myself surprised now that I'm narrating how it evolved, And then the fourth one was letter pad. So because I knew mother is using the letter pads, because she used to write the notes or birthday greetings or something. And there was an aspiration, something that I want to give her something which she will use for herself. These were gifts she would give it away or kept.
Yes.
I said, no, this time I want her to use my thing. So the idea came that letter pad is something she uses every day. So now I could have bought a letter pad from the handmade paper factory. They are beautiful letter pads. But that's not mine. It's just a purchase and give her. I said, what big about that? So first time I had some little more talent came up. I had in the same fretwork a beautiful symbol of the mother. And then you see with the letter pad, the cover must be foldable. I mean, you should be able to bring it up so that the letter pad is below and the mother uses. So technically I said, how do I make this lift? And then below, inside is the letter pad to write. So then I had a bright idea, seeing the spiral notebooks. There's a spiral note, the spring is there. I said the spring can work with the same technique as the spiral notebook. I had observed that. So I went and bought from Honesty Bookshop a spiral notebook. Got the notebook, took the spring. Went to Harpagaon, got the holes punctured, put the spring. And there you have the cover. I could lift it, back, and then mother could use the pad. Voila, there it was. I bought a pad, inserted inside there. And the joy, mother was very happy to see that, and mother said, I'm going to keep it. I don't remember exactly, but the proof of that was many years later, I don't know, the 80s sometime, or even 90s. Once when I went to visit the Sri Smriti.
Sri Smriti, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
And what a shock and a surprise to see that letter pad there. And inside the letter pad pages were out. That she had used up all the pages.
Yeah.
And the top was there, the one paper was inside. And I said, Ma, I'm so grateful to you that you have really used and fulfilled my aspiration, that I wanted you to use it for yourself. And that was a great joy for me. But I realized it long many years, but still it brought me back the entire, that emotion.
And these things are so special in our lives. I decided one day I will learn how to hook a rug. And I got the best blue and white wool. And I hooked a rug in Mother's symbol.
Uh-huh.
I was in US and I sent it to her. Amrita wrote back, Mother was so happy to receive this, she began using it immediately for her feet.
So beautiful. That's what I'm saying.
And so I know your feeling.
I can understand now the joy that I had. And then subsequently, after that, every year I can now see there's been a tremendous progression in the skill, in the effort,
in the creativity.
And then comes the next birthday, I don't know which year. And you see, February was approaching, so 2 months before, the thoughts come, now my birthday is coming, what is it? That was really a pure 100% intuition. I will not claim anything of my thought, imagination. After lunch I have a bit of a nap. And that afternoon I just got up from a nap. And in this short nap I had a dream. And in the dream, Narad, you would believe, now I know what the poets and the artists, they say, I've seen it. And in my dream, I saw a beautiful glass box, a round box, in which to keep the mother's chappals, sandals. The mother's chappals.
Yes.
And then I just got up, took a paper, and I drew the whole thing with all the details which I had seen in the dream. I mean, the legs, how are the legs, then the cover, the design, and then the little knob on top. I'd seen it completely. I could see it in front of my eyes, so I just had to put it down on the paper. Put it towards the different sketches, and there I knew it was there. I got it. But now that she had given me the complete idea, I said, I have to execute now. So how to go about that? Luckily, again, the fretwork came of use. Because you see, so I went to this Akka's embroidery department, and I said, Akka, what's the size of mother's slippers? Because I had to make it according to the size. So she gave me the size of the slippers, and this is so many inches and all that. So according to the mother's slippers, I took a big circle, and that was the size. And it has 6 facets, the glass facets, 6 facets. And the whole thing was resting on a round glass platform with 6 facets. And on each of these facets there is a mother's symbol, cut in plywood.
Oh.
So I cut 6 symbols, stuck them with Fevicol on the 6 sides. And then the top was again a glass top. But there was a round knob, like you see in Taj Mahal or something. In Indian crockery, you will see, especially those crockery connected with Muslim culture, little globe shape like that, a little handle. And that handle was colored in gold. You see, I know exactly the whole specific idea there. So I said, now what do I do? glass I could get cut here, the base and the top, the 6 sides I could make. Then for the little knob, it's a knob, to hold, you have to lift the top. How do you lift it up?
Right.
So there's a knob stuck to the glass.
But it was in gold.
And it has a gold color. So that's something everybody said in Pondicherry, you cannot get it. So I asked the mother, I said, in Chennai there's a factory, I don't remember now. I don't know, I forget the name. Somebody from the ashram department, they said, you go to Chennai, there's a glass factory there, you can maybe ask those people. And he gave me a recommendation letter, this ashram boy. And you see, Narad, the beauty is making of the thing, the immense dedication, 24 hours I was thinking about that. And then the idea of the perfection, you have to do it as perfectly as you can. There's nothing slipshod work.
Yes, yes.
And imagine that's the first time as a student I went alone to Chennai. But because there was a zeal that it is for the mother. So imagine, because we are kids, we came at the age of 10 plus, we didn't know what's the meaning of catching a bus to Chennai at that time. But somehow it had to be done, so let's go. There's nothing to stop it.
You went alone?
I went alone because none of my brothers, nobody knew I was the eldest there. And I didn't know how to purchase a ticket, but I got one. I told the conductor, please tell me when this place comes, what's that called? Gindi. I remember, Gindi. There's a place, Gindi, and there was a factory. So the conductor said, sir, get down, this is Gindi. And Gindi, and just keep looking around like a village idiot, I don't know what is what. But I found the name of the industry, so I went in, I met the manager and I said, this is from the Aurobindo ashram, and here is the note. He said, yes, Mr. Anand, what do you want? I said, I have a little knob to be made. He said, okay. And I said, not only a knob, I want 6 feet. And all the feet are in marble. Marble stuck to the glass. Because this is not a flat thing. It is standing on 6 glass feet, round.
Oh.
I said, okay, all right, you come by 4 o'clock. So I didn't know, strange land, what do I do? I have no idea of going here and there. Somehow I loitered here and there. 4 o'clock with all the eagerness, I went back. And it was done. And it was done so beautiful. I said, Ma, exactly the way you have given me the idea, it has come out. With 6 marble feet, they stuck to the glass. And even this knob also, they stuck it in the middle. Because on top there was a beautiful symbol of the mother done in plywood. On the glass there was a symbol. In the middle of the symbol was this knob. So you could pick up the whole, the lid of the box by the help of this knob. So there he said, no, we are from the ashram, no charges for you. So the glass makers, you see, they could really blow up a beautiful this thing. And you see, each step, the beauty was the she, is for her. So that's what I feel today, that you see, her mother had so many ways to take us closer to her, not just teaching or preaching or telling do this or do that. But even making a thing was so great, was a way to go to her, was an approach, a means. So that was the value of the thing. And then of course when I came back, I put again golden velvet and the bottom of the glass case. And then I put a little triangular thing, so that the chappals are not sitting flat. They should be a little at an angle. You see, all those details are worked out. Because if you put them flat, you don't see them properly. You have to put them at an angle. So I put a little something to that rises. And on top of that, the blue velvet, not the gold or blue, I forget. And there it was, my creation for the one. It's not my creation, as I told you, 100% it was an intuition, it was a seeing. But I put in manifestation something that I'd seen in my dream.
Yes.
So that was my greatest achievement. I took it to the mother. And the happiness, because she had given the idea, she is seeing it done. And I'm sure she must have recognized, Anand, I'm happy with you have done what I've given you. She was very, very happy on that day. And I showed her, mother, this is for the slippers. I want you to keep your slippers in that. And every detail I told her. I went to Chennai, I did this. And she was so gloriously happy, I must tell you. You know the experience.
Yes.
And then, of course, Champak Lal, I don't know, remember now, she kept it aside. And that was, the highest talent and creativity. And I had reached a level where I could translate an intuition into a reality. That was my real experience, it's not a imagination. But again, the same thing, the joy was doubly fulfilled. It was triple Ananda for me. When years later, again at Sri Smriti, I saw the box once again.
Oh,
I said, Mother, I'm so eternally grateful to you that you found it so good. You have kept it as one of your treasures, which will be there for parampara for all times to come. So these are the two objects, that's the letter pad and this case for keeping her slippers. So I told all this to the Sunanda Bayan. I said, this is mine, this is the story behind it. So they narrated and got the story.
Very good.
So that was thing. And then the last one, of course the best one is yet to come. So you see, now I see from a solid, hard plastic box, slowly I'm going up the scale when I got the intuition. Then my ambition came to say, let me draw the mother. You see how the aspiration went higher and higher. And I said, I would like to draw the image of the mother. But then is it just the mother or the four aspects of the mother? That was something I was really, the idea had come, I was caught by the concept, but how do I go about it? Then I had some ashram artists, Jayanti Lal and some other people here in the ashram. They had attempted some of these aspects of the mother. So I said, that could be a good starter. And I had learned a bit of Chinese ink drawing.
Oh.
So from those paintings I could gather the form and I drew it in an A4 from ashram handmade paper in a big sheet like that and a full-blown feature of the four aspects of the mother. And giving underneath the quotation from the mother, Aurobindo the mother, each aspect what it represents. So there are four sheets like that, and the top of that, again the big sheet with the mother's symbol, and the center circle of the mother's symbol, that's the mother's face, which I had taken from one of those calendars. So there it was, the full mother with her face on top and the four aspects. So that was Chinese thing, but that took endless time, you had to draw it in pencil, draw it in this thing, and every hair, everything. So I was very, really that took me not only time but concentration and consciousness. But that's what I wanted. I wanted to get immersed in her consciousness. So there she was. And when I took it to her, it's still there in Atsakar. If ever you come, I can show you the paintings. So that day I was sitting like that beside the mother, and all the four pictures were on her thigh, imagine. So I was there and I was just shifting one sheet and mother was like that. I was shifting one page and then showed her, Mother, this is wisdom, Maheshwari.
Mm-hmm.
She saw that. Next one, Mahakali.
Ah.
She was looking at that. Next, Mahalakshmi. Mahasaraswati. And then when I put them back, she, I don't know, mysteriously, she said, Uwe Maheshwari. Where is Maheshwari? So I put it back, I said, Mother, here is Maheshwari. For a few seconds, she seems to have concentrated on Maheshwari. Unlike the other ones, she asked me to bring back Maheshwari as if to say something which I got to know later. At that time, she wanted to see Maheshwari once again. I showed her the Maheshwari. What she saw, what she gave, what she put in that painting or in that word, I don't know. And then there was the cover. I had purposely kept underneath the cover enough space for her to give the blessings.
Oh,
That was all planned. So I said, Mother,
my goodness.
can I have your signature on this? But Mother was too clever. She said, no. She said, Tinapa atrape monam. You have not caught my soul. I was flabbergasted.
My goodness.
I mean, imagine, Mother was so clear. She said, no, Tinapa atrape monam. So when my monam is not there, my soul is not there, how can I sign here? So she didn't sign. Imagine, she was all happy. It was as if, it was a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, that was the expression to really praise me and all that. But when it came to signature, she refused. She says, no, you have not caught my soul. I said, leave this man. And left it to her, the whole painting. And then when I came down from the room, I went straight to Nolnida. The downstairs is there.
Yes, yes.
I said, Nolnida, this is what happened with the mother. But how can I ever capture the mother's soul? It's not possible for me, no. He said, no, it doesn't mean capture the mother's soul, which we cannot. But something of her spirit must be there. Maybe that was absent. And then later on I cogitated and I said, maybe Mother was right, because I had after all copied her face from a calendar. Copied in the sense I really taken exact dimensions from the calendar, 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. So it was more like a Xerox copy. Although my aspiration, my prayers were there, but it was not something authentic, it was not something original. It is not an inspiration, it's more a copy. So he said, no, it's not that, Mother Anand, it's more to see that you should capture her spirit. And so that was the last of the lot, and after some time I saw the paintings had come down. So somebody gave it back to my parents, so I got them framed at Sakar and they're there. So this is the chapter of all my gifts to the Mother. But you see, now there's an evolution of consciousness, how she gave me the skill to do a small thing and bigger thing and better thing, and intuition and an evolution. So Narad, in this, what I've seen is, not only have I grown closer to her through these things, but in those days it was such a great joy that every time I come from the group and say, hey, I have to do the drawing, hey, I have to do that with the Mother. So for a month and a half, there's nothing else in my mind except the Mother, except doing for her. So I think that is what I was told in the beginning, one of the means to take the children closer to the Mother.
Yes.
That is one thing. In this context, just I'll finish with one thing. When Nolnida told me about this question of you have to capture something of the spirit, long many years later, once I dreamt that the Mother telling me, read Savitri constantly or continuously, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the question came, I said, no, read Savitri 24 hours. Exactly, now I know the words. Read Savitri 24 hours. I was a little I said, I couldn't understand. I know Nalnida used to be my great guide in those days. I went back to him. He said, it only means you should live in the consciousness of Savitri at all times. You cannot literally read it, but the question of being in the consciousness. So that is how again she gave us the knowledge and the consciousness to be on a deeper consciousness, either just catching the Mother Spirit or reading Savitri. Of course, Savitri becomes a means to be in that consciousness. So that was again an instruction for me to say, read Savitri 24 hours. So Nalnida was again a great help to say, no, start reading. So this one combined with what I told you last time, when Mother had told me that Tipo Kante Sirma, you can count on me to understand. So all this put together, now I get the idea that, right, that Savitri is the means to get into the deeper and the higher consciousness. So
I hope we can have a long discussion one day on Savitri also. Your experiences of the gifts to Mother will touch many hearts.
Thank
Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you so much.